You can blame Mercedes-Benz for creating the so-called four-door coupe category and creating some of the world's most ungainly cars in the process. Audi's take on that category is this car, the Audi A7 Sportback. And while it tries to look like a coupe, there's no disguising the fact that it is a big and heavy car. But then this is an A7 with a difference. It's called the RS7 Sportback. The RS7 is a pugilistic hammer and tongs version of the A7 that looks like it's always spoiling for a fight. Yes, the low-slung, arc-roofed silhouette is still there, as is the rear tailgate, but there's also a smouldering, hunkered-down aggression that reeks of testosterone and tar-ripping performance. Fans of the marque will know that the RS designation only adorns those Audis at the very top of the performance pecking order, special low-volume derivatives of existing models that have been substantially re-engineered to safely cope with huge dollops of extra urge. The RS7 Sportback is large and aggressive enough to be intimidating in traffic, loud enough to wake up pets and small children even when it's merely idling, and luxurious enough to cocoon its occupants in limousine-style luxury. But most of all, it's distinctively RS. The visual hallmarks that go with that badge are all here. A rear diffuser with large diameter exhausts, huge wheels, fat performance rubber and beefy brakes. The matte Daytona grey colour scheme looks spectacularly sinister but adds more than 100,000 rands to the asking price. Of course, the engine lurking under that extended bonnet is also special. Powering the RS7 Sportback is a 4-litre V8 with twin turbochargers. Those turbochargers nestled neatly between the cylinder banks and accompanied by an intercooler, which explains why the power output of this engine is 412 kilowatt. The torque peak, 700 Newton meters. It's the way the muscle and torque interact that results in the car's devastating punch and ferocious acceleration. Quattro all-wheel drive delivers the urge to all four wheels, preventing wheel spin, but creating so much instantaneous momentum that the big Audi literally catapults off the mark. Keep the loud pedal floored on this car and it'll accelerate almost relentlessly until it seems to run out of road. The 0 to 100 time comes up in a mere 3.9 seconds, top speed limited unfortunately to 250 kilometers an hour, and at that point you really feel as if the car could carry on beyond 300 kilometers an hour with the greatest of ease. But what's really impressive about the car is not its straight line speed, it's about how it handles its weight in the twisties. Such is the composure of the big Audi that it's all too easy to underestimate the velocity you're carrying into a corner. Under braking, you become acutely aware that the car you're pointing towards the apex is pushing 2 tons in the same direction, and yet the RS7's balance and traction prevent the nose from ploughing too wide. Let's not forget that the RS7 comes standard with Audi's Drive Select system, which allows throttle response, damper settings and steering effort to be tweaked to best suit individual drivers. The entire focus of the RS7 Sportback is tar-ripping performance, but that doesn't mean that you have to make do with a Spartan interior. In fact, as you'd expect of any top Audi, this car has all the bells and whistles. RS specific, of course, here, the flat-bottom steering wheel, also these very comfortable high-back bucket seats, and a very specific hand-stitched leather interior. The bucket seats can be electrically adjusted in every dimension, while Audi's multimedia interface allows easy access to everything from Bluetooth to sat-nav, and even includes a touchpad for direct alphanumeric input of data. The overall execution is to Audi's usual high standards. Those concerned about fitting their golf clubs into the boot will appreciate the 535-litre luggage compartment, and if you really need more space, folding the split rear seat backrest down creates a cavernous 1,390-litre cargo area. However, for all its space and practicality, its lavish luxury, exclusivity and aesthetic appeal, the RS7 Sportback's real focus remains undiluted performance. The Audi RS7 is a true thoroughbred with race car genes that pushes the boundaries of road car use. It's plush and luxurious and also very expensive at 1.4 million rand before options. You're not going to see too many of these on our roads. price and limited supply apart, the real reason why you won't see many is because most of them will be blasting past in a blur. Brutal power, a slick and quick 8-speed gearbox and quattro drive with sportier settings ensure an involving and dynamic driving experience despite the bulk and weight. No wonder the RS7 is devastatingly quick, but limited availability and a high asking price won't make it a common sight on our roads. Pity that.